Hello everyone, welcome back to the Quality Analyst. If you are learning software testing, business analysis or agile methodology, today's topic is extremely important and also very commonly asked in interviews. Many beginners get confused between user stories and use cases. Some people think they are the same. Some people think agile uses use cases. Some people think traditional projects use user stories. So today we will slowly and clearly understand the difference between user stories and use cases, and more importantly why Agile prefers user stories and traditional model prefer use cases. So let's start from the basics. So in this session we will cover what user stories are, what use cases are, how they look in real projects, key differences between them, and when testers deal with each of them. So by end of this video, the confusion will completely be removed. So now let us first understand user stories. What is a user story? So a user story is a short, simple description of a feature written from the end user's point of view. So in Agile, instead of writing long documents, we write user stories. A standard user story format is, as a user, I want to perform some action so that I get some benefit. So this format keeps the focus on who, what, and why. So let me give you a very simple example of a user story. As a registered user, I want to log into the application so that I can access my dashboard. So notice something very important here. We are not talking about validations. We are not talking about alternate flows. We are not talking about technical steps. The user stories stay high level and business focused. So now let us understand use cases. So what is a use case? So a use case is a detailed description of how a user interacts with the system, including the main flow, alternate flows, error conditions, and system responses. So use cases are mostly used in traditional models like Waterfall or V model, where detailed documentation is created upfront. So let us take some same login example as a use case. So it will contain the actor, that is a registered user. If you see here in the picture, there is a registered user who is act as a actor, okay, and then there is a precondition, that is user should be registered. So that is the precondition, and then the main flow, enter username, enter password, and then click login. And then there are alternate flows if the password is invalid or if the fields are empty. The post conditions are user either gets logged in or enter, or error message gets displayed. So if for example, if this registered user enter the valid username and valid password, if this is correct, the user gets logged in. Okay, if the registered user entering username and password as invalid, then in that case the error will be displayed, invalid credential error. If in case the registered user is not entering any username and password and simply clicking on login button, in that case it will display empty fields error. So this is much more detailed compared to the user story. So now there is a difference exists between agile and traditional models. Think differently. So traditional models believe define everything upfront, document everything in detail, and then start the development. Whereas agile believes start small, deliver fast, and then refine continuously. So that's why agile prefers user stories and traditional projects prefer use cases. So from the tester's point of view, user stories are a starting points. Testers use acceptance criteria, discussions with the product owner, exploratory testing to derive some test scenarios and test cases. So testers do not test user stories directly. They test what comes out of them. In traditional projects, testers heavily rely on use cases. Use cases already contain flows, conditions, and system behavior. So testers can directly convert each flow into test scenarios and each condition into the test cases. So testing becomes more document driven in case of traditional approaches. So let me clearly summarize the difference between user story and use cases. So the use stories are short, that is high level, informal, mostly user focused and agile friendly. Whereas the use cases are detailed, structured, system focused and traditional friendly. So neither is good or bad. They are used based on the project needs. So in real projects, you might even see both. For example, Agile team uses user stories, but testers create detailed test cases similar to use cases. So never think in black and white. Projects adapt based on the maturity and complexity. So in interviews, when asked about the user stories versus use cases, always mention agile versus traditional mindset, level of detail, and tester's role. So interviewers basically are checking your practical understanding, not definitions. So if you truly understood today's session, congratulations. You are now thinking like a professional tester. If this video helped you, like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Quality Analyst. Remember, Agile is about collaboration, testing is about clarity. Happy testing, and I will see you in the next session.